I'm now joined by Benedict Xolani Dube. He's from XUBERA Institute for Research and Development to chat to us about some of the seminars which they've been convening. One titled The Precarious State of the Governing Party in KwaZulu-Natal, Finding a Common Ground. It's a question. Welcome, and I'm happy to at least have you in studio today. You have been doing a lot of work on the ANC in KZN. Perhaps before we even get to this particular seminar that you've been facilitating, let's just talk about the state of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal.
One can say the state of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is beyond the brinkness. It has collapsed. And why I'm saying that are the factions that has gained a momentum to a level of being kind of institutionalized in that province. And so I think one can say the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is beyond the face of brinkness.
So are you ruling it out? I mean, we're going towards elections next year. I mean, how do you see them performing? I know there's still a lot in between. There are still regional conferences. There's still the main provincial conference, which is highly contested as well.
Look, I think in a province or an organization that is eating itself, why I'm saying is eating itself, if you look at the stats of number of people who have been killed within the ANC, it makes one wonder if really the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal will do the magic to turn around and promote the concept in reality of unity. But looking at the current situation, I think it will take a lot of time and a lot of work. And when you talk about time, the time is going to be against what is looming, of which are the elections.
Now, I spoke to Sihle Zikalala last week, and one of the first questions that I asked him was, is KZN a no-go area for President Cyril Ramaphosa? And obviously the answer was no. But politically, when you analyze the situation, there is still President Jacob Zuma in KZN, looming very large.
Look, I like to use this concept that say Mr. Jacob Zuma is like a godfather of politics in KwaZulu-Natal. Just like your Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Those two people, you can't simply or underestimate their influence in the politics of KwaZulu-Natal. And so I'm trying to answer you that question to say, really, the role and the hostility that people are saying the current president of the ANC is receiving in KwaZulu-Natal, I think it is at the background of the influence that Jacob Zuma is having in that province.
So, what is coming out of this, the seminars?
I think the seminars, to a certain extent, are starting to lay the foundation within the province. The seminars are starting to find the middle ground of these two different factions that are existing within the ANC. And so I think there is a positive mood and there is a positive way forward that one have really gathered and one can come and say to the public. There is kind of a spark that say in KwaZulu-Natal, the ANC might to a certain extent reach the election, not fragmented the way it is currently.
But right now it is led by two people who do not necessarily belong to the same camps or factions.
Look, I think that's what the unity talk is all about, is to bring this faction to the middle ground. And I think the mood and also the risk for the ANC leaders that they are facing if they lose the provincial election. And I think they are willing to stomach it because it will be the loss of the privileges, the loss of patronage, and also it will put their livelihood at risk. And so I don't think that they are willing to sacrifice such kind of privileges that they have currently through the government positions and so forth.
And what we have learned is that following Nasrec, KZN realized that, we went there disjointed and therefore we didn't, make the impact that KZN is known for. And somehow there's some regrets and comrades were finding each other. Is that not the case?
Look, as we have said, in KwaZulu-Natal there was this myth of Zulu nationalism, of which I think the road towards Nasrec managed to a certain extent to deal with that myth, that there is this strong nationalism that is happening in KwaZulu-Natal, or that is binding the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, because we have noted that when we go to Nasrec, about 200 branches in KwaZulu-Natal, there were for the current president, and the 400 were for the Nkosazana Zuma. And so one can say the melting of the Zulu nationalism, the myth of the Zulu nationalism, is creating or is starting to redefine the politics of KwaZulu-Natal. And so, the redefinition of any circumstances or any environment is not something that is easy to deal with. It always comes with very, how can I put it, uncomforting repercussions.
Who are the candidates as we approach the provincial conference? Sihle, I know for a fact that he is going to stand. Is Mike Mabuyakulu contesting him? Is Peggy still in the running?
Look, I think if it is going to Ubabu Mike Mabuyakulu, it will be an antithesis of the concept of New Dawn. It will be also an antithesis of how Cyril Ramaphosa has been portraying himself as someone who's not corrupt and someone who's ethical and someone who's moral. Why I'm saying that in relation to Babu Mike Mabuyakulu, because currently is ascending and descending the court, the court steps, because he's involved in an allegation of a jazz festival that never took place, and where 20 million was disappeared under his watch and is implicated. And so I think maybe the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, the faction that supported Babu Cyril Ramaphosa toward Nasrec, they might use Cyril Xaba to become the contender to Sihle Zikalala, because he's been seen as someone who's really not involved in scandal, as a rising star in the ANC. And so if they use Cyril versus Sihle, it will be really worth looking for a kind of a contest.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
I really appreciate it. Moving forward, the Nzima family has spoken out